Let's analyze the short-term and long-run effects of an increase in nominal money supply in the ISLM model. Let's start with point A, which is the point of general equilibrium, as it's at the intersection of all the three curves IS, LM, and FE line. So we start from a point where output is equal to the potential output or natural level of output YL. Now say nominal money supply increases, that will cause the LM curve to shift towards the right. Now let's analyze the short-run effects of this increase in the nominal money supply. Where in the short run, prices are sticky and firms meet demand at these prices, so it's the output that changes. So initially, we start from point A, and then as the LM curve shifts towards the right, we move to point B. Because when LM curve shifts towards the right, then at any level of output, including the original level of output Yn, where we started with, real interest rate is lower. So that's why we move from point A to point B to begin with. Now, a lower real interest rate would encourage investment, which will increase aggregate demand and hence cause output or income to increase. Now, as output increases, money demand increases, which causes a partial offsetting increase in the real interest rate. So we move from point B to point C. So we started with point A, we moved to point B, and then we came to point C. So overall, our new short-term equilibrium is point C, given at the intersection of the IS curve and the new LM curve. And at this point, real interest rate is lower and output has increased above the full employment level. Now let's look at the transition from short run to long run. Now at point C, output is above the potential level, Y2 is greater than Yn. So firms want to decrease production and they will do that by increasing prices to decrease demand. So over time, prices will increase, which will cause the real money supply to decrease and the LM curve will shift back towards the left. It will stop shifting once we reach back to the original equilibrium at point A, where output is equal to the potential level of output. Now, in the new long-run equilibrium at point A, our prices are higher because the adjustment process from the short-run equilibrium to long-run equilibrium happened through an increase in prices. But real interest rate and output are back at the original levels. So in this particular case, we saw that since output, employment, and real interest rate are back at the original levels, this means most of the variables such as consumption, investment, and wages are also unchanged. And the increase in prices was such that it offset the initial increase in nominal money supply. So the real money supply is also unchanged. Thus, all the real variables are unchanged, which means that in this model, in the long run, money is neutral. And since we were looking at a Keynesian economist perspective, so that was expected. Okay, in the short run, money did affect real interest rate and output, so it wasn't neutral, but in the long run, money is neutral according to Keynesians.